What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, the official Cliffy J, and I'm back with another video. And today, I'm gonna be giving you guys my Survivor Season 50 cast assessment, and I'll do a little preseason power rankings because we already know what this cast is looking like. I think most people in the community kind of knew from the spoiled cast that we seen, which definitely confirmed this season will be majorly spoiled. So if I was you guys, I would stay off the internet very soon because the boots will just be coming in and coming in, man. Um, but yeah, like I said, I'll just kind of give an assessment as I'm going through how I rank the players. And this is just based off of first feeling. I probably will end up doing another power ranking right before the season starts because that's all the way next year at this point. So let's go ahead and get into the ranking. And at number 24, I've got Mike White. And I put Mike White at 24 because I feel like even if he replicates his game from the last season he played, I don't think he'll ever genuinely want to win the game. And I kind of look at this as just promo for White Lotus to a certain extent. So, and he like he didn't even try to win last time when he got there. He just kind of, oh crap, I'm at Final Tribal. Let me throw this to Nick real quick. That's kind of what happened. So I don't really trust that Mike White's actually going to truly try to win the game. And at number 23 and number 22, I got the two unknown Survivor 49 players. I think most of us know who they are based off of the cast that were online, but we'll just say the two 49 players. Looking at them, I don't really know. They haven't ever had a winner do a back-to-back season, so I don't think that either of them are winners. But in general, we don't really know much about them, obviously, because we haven't seen them play. They won't have any reputation coming into the season, so I don't really think that they have much of a chance of really garnering that respect, even if they do get to the end. Because though this cast isn't super legendary, it is legendary enough to where I think you're going to have some credibility in the game to even make it far to a certain extent. So we'll see. And at number 21, I've got Colby Donaldson, and old school guy from season 2 and from season 20. I just think he's going to be washed in the challenges, and I think that's always going to be his thing. I could see him being a pre-merge boot because he isn't going to have many relationships, and he's washed. He was washed on Heroes vs. Villains, so I think Kobe's pretty cooked. And at number 20, I've got Suri. And this list is indicative of the likeliness to win the game, not performance, because I think Suri's going to have another fantastic season, likely have a pretty decent pre merge, get to the merge, and then make it probably mid merge, maybe even deep in the merge, but eventually her reputation will catch up to her. And I also don't think we need to see Suri again. Like, I think Suri is better just doing other shows that don't require you to win a challenge at the end to get there anyway, and things like that. But I just don't think we need to see Suri again. And at number 19, I've got Ozzy. Someone else I just don't think we need to see again. But when we're just looking at it from a positioning standpoint coming into the game, he'll have a couple of people I think, probably pregame knows a couple of these people, things like that. But I just think his game is going to be the same. It's already recognized. I see him making the merge because he is such a beast in challenges. But at the end of the day, when you have another beast like Joe and Jonathan and Dee's good at challenges and Chrissy and it's other Kyle and it's other players that are good enough at challenges to where I don't think he'll be able to just go on his streak that he would usually go on. And that's what it would be required for him to win anyway. So I just don't see it with Ozzy. And at number 18, someone I feel very similarly about is Jonathan. I don't think we need to see Jonathan again from Survivor 42, but he's here because Jeff loves him. But he's not as much of a challenge beast in the individual challenges as he is in team challenges. So I don't necessarily think he'll go on the streak like an Ozzy or a Joe or one of them. So I think he's pretty much cooked because his social game was subpar, in my opinion. Like, it was decent, but it also was one where I don't know if he was ever going to garner the respect. It wasn't subpar, but it wasn't great like that. And at number 17, I've got Coach. And I love Coach as a character, but I just don't trust that he's gonna actually be able to get it done. I think we've seen the best that we're going to see of Coach on South Pacific. And at number 16, I've got D. I think being a dominant winner of a very recent season just automatically puts her on my guaranteed not going to win list. That's really what it comes down to. And at number 15, I've got Kyle. And I think a similar thing with Kyle. I don't really see him being able to win just based off the fact that he's coming off of a win. Everyone's going to literally be leaving, literally off of his win. They're literally watching him win, and then they're getting up on the planes to get up out of here, essentially. So I don't really see it for Kyle. I'm really low on Kyle and D because of how unlegendary this cast is. Like, if this is a cast that had way more big, better players and all that, I would have more faith in them. And the only reason I have Kyle above D is because I like his social game a bit more. I think he's more well rounded socially. So that's really what it comes down to be honest. I would say that was like the no chance tier. Like, those are the players I'm very confident that they're not going to win. Now we're getting into the high variance, the players that, like, you never know. Still don't think it's going to happen, but you never know type thing with these players. And at number 14, I've got Jenna Lewis. And she's not a recent cast member. She's from back in the days, right? On top of the fact that, you know, it wasn't a dominant strategic player back in the day. The thing that kind of gives me a little bit of light shredded on her is that she has, wanted to be on the show and stuff like that. And a lot of time when players want to be on the show, they've at least been watching. So, well, I think that will help her and give her at least some knowledge of the player she's playing with, which definitely could help her. And at number 13, we have Angelina. She's not the best player, and I'm actually excited to see her because I do think she is funny because she's not that self aware. But you never know. If she can clean up her act after watching herself, maybe she can clean up her act and show a different side of herself. So I'm going to put her here at number 13. And at number 12, I've got Rick Devens. And I think his reputation will get him in trouble at the merge because I think he'll make it there. But at the merge, I think his reputation will get him in trouble because they'll know he can kind of back against the wall, idols, win immunities, play against you and things like that. Like, I don't really think that. I think that him and my next player will have a target on their back because of what could have happened rather than what actually did happen. Now, at number 11, I have Camilla. And it was fun to watch her play the first time, but it'll be really exciting to be able to see her play her more probably cutthroat, sneaky nature of a game without a very dominant player by her side that's kind of keeping her grounded. I think Kyle kept her more tamed and more grounded. Right now, we'll be able to see her really play her own game and go crazy, and it'll be fun to watch, I think. The only reason that I have a doubt for her and someone like Devins is because they are coming off of their seasons where they're like the person that should have won in a lot of people's minds, or like they're the actual dominant player, actual strategic player. Not 100% accurate with the truth, but that's what a lot of people think. So I do think that could affect her in the game for sure. I think pre-merge she's going to be in big danger, and even like post-swap she'll be in danger because she's not going to be the biggest challenge reliable player. So you're not super reliable in the physical challenges, and you're someone that we have to really watch our back around because you're such a great liar and such a sneaky player and actor. And nah, bro, nobody want to deal with that. And at number 10, I've got Stephanie. And she's proven that she can integrate pretty well into different alliances and tribes and stuff like that early in her career on Survivor. And she's not a weak competitor, so I do trust that she can play pretty well. Probably would be boring, but at the same time, I'm still kind of on shaky ground, so I can't have her too high on the list. And at number 9, I've got Christian. And I'm just lay it out flat. I could see him underperforming pre-merge. Not just that, I am a little bit shaky on all the David versus Goliath players. Still, especially the Davids. Because I don't know necessarily how their social game will translate when they're not on an oddball tribe. You know what I'm saying? If they're on like a regular, well-rounded tribe with people like Joe and Kyle, and then like a Camilla there, and then you also have a Genevieve, and like they're not as much oddball players like Camilla, I guess, whatever you could say that, but I don't even think that even fits for her. If you have more oddball type players, like the people that were on her original, like on the David's original tribes, I do think that we could see them being kind of social pariahs or just not as adept socially when they don't have like a hand-fed format that makes it like, oh, they're the Daves, they're the underdogs naturally, and you don't want to like be a douche to the underdogs and not align with them at all, and do not want to vote with them and stuff like that. Like, come on, I don't know, maybe I'm tripping, but we could see it. I also do trust that he has a strategic ability and some even physical ability and social ability to where it could happen for him. So I'm gonna have him here at number 9. And at number 8, I've got Tiffany. And she's the type of player that I just kind of feel like was on the wrong cast or maybe the wrong starting tribe. 46 was a cast full of wild cards. It was a wild cast. And I think as long as she's able to stay away from Q until they're around each other and then just get Q out, because he is kind of crazy, right? I think she's good and she could move up into my contender tier. But as of right now, I got to keep it right here at number 8. And at number 7, I've got Q. And he's someone that I feel like his game could go two different ways, with him being probably the most popular player of the new era, him or D, like extremely popular. I think that he could come in with a reputation, but his reputation is not being some master strategist. It's being someone that was likable at the beginning and not likable at the end, right? It was someone that was exciting to watch, fun to watch, funny, but he isn't necessarily known as such a strategic player, such a great social player, and all that. So I could either see him being a early merge or pre-merge boot that was kind of carried along by the majority that was on his tribe, or he'll take a step back and play more logically, improve on the strong social ability that we've seen that he could display at points, and kind of, get it done. Like we could see that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put him at 7. I'm gonna go ahead and put him at 7. And at number 6, I've got Aubrey. And she doesn't have like this insane reputation unless you're talking about Q, right? So I just have a good feeling about Aubrey. I can't really say pinpoint exactly why I think she's gonna win. I know she's a good player, but I could see it happening. Like I think she's one of those people that isn't coming in with the highest threat level, but it is a threat level and it is respect, and she's gonna have connections from previous seasons and having relationships with players pre-gaming and all type of stuff. So I trust that Aubrey should do pretty decent on here. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And at number 5, I've got Chrissy. And I see Chrissy making some adjustments socially. And with this cast being a little bit older, I think that she'll have a lot of chances to integrate socially early on. And I think that she's going to be good enough strategically to understand what's going on, even though the game has gotten a little bit better strategically since she played. And I can see her clutching that final immunity again. So I'm going to go ahead and have her at number 5. And at number 4, I've got Emily. I don't know really how the alums feel about her, but realistically, she should be in like the Q position where she's popular but not scary. And I think if she's more open socially, it's going to give her a legit chance of being able to execute some of these moves that she was trying to execute that she didn't really have the social capital to execute. And at number 3, I've got Genevieve. And like most Survivor fans, I really like Genevieve. And I want to see her do well on here. So maybe I'm a little biased. I would say the top 3 on here are maybe my 3 favorite on the cast. I mean, nah, they're not my 3 favorite. But Genevieve is one of my 3 favorites on the cast. So obviously I'm riding with Genevieve for that reason. But just like Emily and Q, I see her being popular, but not necessarily threatening, because her game was a little rocky and she went back and forth between being like a good player or not, So I think that if she plays hard socially, we'll see a lot of success because she is good in that area, certainly. And she does understand the strategic element and has a physical component. So she is well rounded. And that's kind of what I'm leaning towards, the more well rounded players. the more well-rounded new era player specifically, because at number 2 I've got Charlie, and I think Charlie and my number 1 are pretty even. Charlie is extremely well-rounded as a player, decent in comps, good socially, good strategically, but on this cast I still think he is a bit young, and his social game is a little bit situational. I don't necessarily think it's elite. So as of now, I see him possibly dominating the game pre-merge, early merge, maybe even mid-merge, possibly a little bit of late merge, and then getting a little bit too out in front with it, or making a move a little too early, trying to correct some of his mistakes from 46 and getting sniped. Like I think that's kind of how that could break down. And I don't really trust that Charlie's gonna get it done, but I also don't really trust that my number 1's gonna get it done, but I don't really trust that anyone's gonna get it done. So I don't really know who to pick right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and put Charlie at 2. And at number 1, the winner pick that I don't need y'all to really be holding me to, man. This is crazy. Making it so early. But I'm going to go ahead and say that Joe is the winner of Survivor 50. I know it sounds crazy, but I think Joe is going to come into the game with the same insanely good social game and going through the entire experience, being someone that made it to Final Tribal and everything. I think he knows one of his biggest strengths is his social game. But I think he also knows one of his biggest weaknesses was attempting to play the game so strict. In terms of gameplay, he stuck to that one style, honesty and integrity. And I think out of the people that are coming on very recently from playing, I think that he'll have one of the lower threat levels because he lost, especially the way he lost. On top of the fact, I think Ozzy and Jonathan are going to be slightly more revered as challenge threats, so we won't have that on his back. I think there'll be natural meat shields for him. I think that people like Kyle, Camilla, D, and Sari will all be bigger threats than him in the game in general. So, and in general, I don't even think he's the type of player that gets targeted early, right? Like he's not someone that gets targeted early. He's strong as heck, and he's easy to like work with and live with and stuff like that. So I just think if you give him the opportunity to integrate into a season socially, we could be seeing like a watered down version of David from All Stars, from Australia. We could be seeing a watered down version of David from Australian Survivor All Stars. Like, not saying he'd be anywhere near as good. Not even, no. Not saying he'd be as good, but he'd be like a slightly worse, less glazed version that was probably even low key better socially to a certain extent. Like, we gonna see, But that's my prediction right now. I got Joe at number 1. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Y'all tell me what videos y'all want to see next. Y'all want to see more Survivor, more Challenge, Big Brother, anything, let me know. I will watch shows to make videos about them at this point. I don't care. I like to make YouTube videos. I'm enjoying it. Y'all go ahead and make sure y'all subscribe, because most of y'all are not subscribed that are watching these videos. Subscribe to the channel. Peace.